Hello everybody, I'm the Crooked Caber, and today we're diving into the world of Lost in Vivo. I love playing PS1 horror graphic games, and one of my friends knows it. He occasionally buys me these scary games off Steam, usually when there's a sale, and I think I've played every one up to this point. Today in Lost in Vivo, we're going to decide if it's scary, not scary, fun or not fun, or scary and not fun, or fun and not scary, like I do with all these games. Or more or less. Your dog gets washed down a sewer grate, which is horrifying, because, you know, the one thing you would risk your life for is a dog. I know I would. Forces you to go down into the Ohioan sewers to save your little animal from dying. So a storm sucks Doll into the sewer grate, and that's where the adventure begins. And I didn't know this, but you can actually leave as soon as you enter the sewer. I wouldn't have left, I swear, but it lets you do that. So the game takes place like in the sewers entirely. The whole thing is dark, dank, and the whole point is to find your dog that's gone missing, of course. But a big part of the game is facing traumas of your own character and people you don't know. So other people's trauma. About every level in the game is that. But in this first level, the game lets you whistle to find the dog or try to find him. I am audioly challenged. Most of the times I play games, I play them without audio. I don't know why, it's weird, I know, but I just don't play with that. So when a game lets me whistle to find something, I have no idea where to go. Luckily, I am great at wandering, and that's what I did. I wandered and I wandered until I went the right way. But I will say whistling to find something is scary. The only other game I ever played where you have to whistle to find something, it was these weeping angel-like enemies, and if you whistled, they would whistle back to you, which is horrific, and I hate it. The first encounter in the game is that shortly after you have watched someone's rotting pizza, and you're given a sledgehammer, you walk down a dark tunnel, per usual, and someone sneaks up behind you. And I know, I must say, the combat is really fun. I knocked this guy. I hate to say it, but this might have been the only fun combat in the entire game. Everything else was a puzzle or gimmick, but right here I felt the adrenaline of 1,000 Ohioan natives come through me as I smacked this guy. It was very fun, very satisfying. Would do it again. Would do it again. Wouldn't seek it out, I swear, but probably would do it again. This made me feel like more things would immediately start coming after me like that, but it was a one-time thing. Just one crazy drug addict. The game then takes us into the booty hole of the sewer, a place to abandon all hope. It's nasty, dark, dank, and let me tell you, this game had so many tunnels that would just keep going. I feel like it's like a thing horror games have to do, are long tunnels that you just crawl through forever. Near the end, you get chased by something, but it's pretty easy to quickly get out. And this is where you find the handgun, a broken handgun. I did not realize that you could shoot a broken handgun. So I didn't use this until a good bit later. But any horror game that gives you a gun is a very questionable choice. In Resident Evil, even if you have a gun, it's hard to hurt anything. But in this game, it's effectively just Doom. The gun is quite effective. I had to take away a point of horror for this, but it made it so much easier for me to play the game. If a game's too scary for me, I will just like hide in a corner and I will like drudge along. And like one of the reasons I made the YouTube channel is so that I could make myself play these games I want to play that normally I simply could not bring myself to do. So the first actual level is a train station. You've crawled down and you see Doily being taken away by a stranger on a train. So you're on the dog's trail, and it gets you to just get your own train going. You pull up your own train, you get on the train, you ride the train. Very fun, very, very spooky. Many letters. There's a girl who has like body dysmorphia or something. And you get to the next level, first save of the game. And when I can save in a game, you know, it's suddenly my mind was put at ease. This part of the game, you just had to flick 3 breakers, and this is where the horror kind of ended for me. The game stayed spooky, and it stayed stressful, but it was no longer scary because the first time I pulled the lever, the girl comes at me through a wall, and I freak out, I scream, but it wasn't anything too crazy. Here's where the game takes a turn. It gives me a shotgun. a shotgun. This game like is broken for this. It gave me a shotgun. From this point forward with the shotgun, the game's combat is trivialized more or less. There's a few moments where you have to die, but every time like something can die, the shotgun handles it very quickly. I question whether they should have done that. I think the game would have been scarier if it was like a chase and hide sort of thing. But I won't complain. I felt so much safer. I was so more willing to like run around and pick fights after they gave me the shotgun. Further into the depths to chase Doily, I reach a station with an overeating theme. There are trains that try to eat me, and I turn into a pile of goop, where I look at myself and I think it's disgusting. So I think it's like some sort of self-image thing going on here. It's not too crazy. You have to dodge the trains to get codes for a door, and once you get the codes, it's really simple from there. You push on past, and you get to the next area where you get attacked by a penis. You have to die here, and you do. And I got lucky here because the puzzle following this is actually rather tricky. I just happened to make the right decision because of my rule to always go left. The story here is something to do with a person's self-image. It's still the Bulimic station, so it's about like the overeating, so it's personal image, but I think it has something to do with abortion or unwanted pregnancy. That seems to be the theme here for me. The whole next area is just mines, and you have a weird encounter with a mimic that pretends to be Doily. Not okay. It is very freaky climbing up ladders, though. Here it was a very simple puzzle to get through a door. But next was the labs. This is where the game got a bit freaky again. I had lost all like illusion of horror when I shot the first ghost girl, but here something different was showing up. There were rats that had grown a little bit too big, and mentions of a sort of failed experiment called Sachiris. I did the special bit to pick up a like dead man's body that you're not supposed to pick up. It's an eyeless man, and you had to do a few things to get there. I think this had something to do with the Eldritch ending. I know there's 4 endings: the good, the very bad, the bad, and the Eldritch. I got the good. Most people get the good. It's actually the easiest to get, bizarrely enough. So this is where you get a short interaction with Doily. I did not expect it. I did not expect it to last long. I was right. Doily immediately gets flushed down another drain. So I drop the body by accident, but when I turn around, it's up, and it leads me to the next area, where I face Sachiris. It's a weird creature that wants to steal your eyes, but the way it operates is like a weeping angel. If you take your eyes off of it, it tries to kill you. But it gets more and more aggressive, and I, being the scaredy cat I am, I ran through the entire level too fast for him to actually get aggressive enough to attack me. So here was maybe the second to last really intense moment of the game. You're riding an elevator out, and the game tries to trick you into thinking the game's over. It's not. I was unwilling to leave Doily, and in my thrashing about and stabbing at the walls, you realize that Sachiris has escaped with you. This is the last time you see him. It's really bizarre. It was a kind of scary character with a few cutscenes that made it a bit spookier, but you end up just letting him out, and then you never see him again, unless you get the Eldritch ending, of course. And you begin the horrible interaction with Fingerface. It is a zone where you have to destroy like 3 bad influences on your brain. They're like little brains with mouths. They're kind of kosher. Very fancy. I shot them all. You have to face off with Fingerface, which is actually just called the Siren if you were to go on the wiki. One time he has to kill you. The other, I got clever and electrocuted him. And then the third is really the only boss fight in the game that you can like win. You have to circle it around and eventually get it stuck in a closing door. And when you do, you unload your weapons onto it. It takes a while. I didn't die here, but it took a hot second. I eventually trapped him, and something weird crawled out of his face. I simply did not stop shooting it. I was so happy that this thing was gone. So here is the grand climax. You get to a room where there's a ladder out and a pooper shooper to your left, and you run to the ladder and you hear Doily bark. I immediately turned around because no one leaves without doily. It just can't be had. And I delve deeper into the pit. This is a very short bit. It's the most annoying, I would say, of the whole game. But you push through a bunch of annoying enemies. It's like a shooter. Eventually, I just started running through it, as you do in any horror game. And you get to a room where you can turn back no more. The only thing to do is to leave. You're sad, and originally I thought that this moment was you can move on without the dog. You don't need any help. Like, you're good, you fulfilled your moral obligations, and you can leave now. And you climb up the ladder to Doily. Doily is there. This is the good ending, the ending most people get. This game was quite fun. I recommend you watch the full playthrough I did. This is just a little brief overview for the sake of shorter form videos on YouTube. A little experiment, I might say. I really enjoy playing these games. I prefer long playthroughs. And that's why you'll see the other one is still uploaded. The hour and 30 minutes, if you can believe it. But anyhow, Doily survived. And thank you for joining me on this short excerpt. Until next time, ciao.